Hello there, Tolkien fanatics. I hope this video finds you doing well, and we are going to be finishing up with our Heroics action series, the final two heroic actions that occur during the fight phase. So last time I talked about the first three, and that was the Heroic Strength, Heroic Defense, and Heroic Challenge. As I said, those are kind of lesser used ones. I've only seen one challenge in the games that I've used. I've only had one heroic challenge in the games that I've played used. There we go. I've never used Heroic Strength. I've never actually seen it used in any games I've played. And then Heroic Defense, I've actually used it a couple times for specific situations. The two that I have used the most often, though, are Heroic Strike and Heroic Fight. Heroic Strike and Heroic Combat, which are the two most commonly used heroics during the fight phase. So we'll go ahead and start with Heroic Strike, because Heroic Strike is one that is a specific heroic. It has to be listed in the profile, and that is found under the heroic actions for a model in their profile. I'll leave a link to my How to Understand a Profile video for those who are interested in the cards above. So Heroic Strike, a hero model who declares they are using a Heroic Strike adds d6 to their fight value for the duration of the fight phase. This is rolled for at the start of the model's dual roll and lasts until the end of the turn. This cannot increase a hero model's fight value above 10. So you are capped off at 10. The highest fight in the game is 10, as is the highest defense, the highest strength, and pretty much that's it. So strengths, defenses, fight values, those are all capped at 10. Note, this bonus is applied before other effects are taken into account. Thus, a hero who is engaged in a fight with a bat swarm would add d6 to their fight value to a maximum of 10, and then half the total due to the bat swarm's blinding swarm special rule. So that's just a perfect example right there. The heroic action occurs before any negative modifiers, pretty much. Or positive modifiers. There are sometimes some other modifiers out there. They are rare and far between where you can combine positive modifiers between strike and the fight value. I am thinking Boromir with his banner. It does increase him by 1 point of fight. So I think that one actually specifically says that it happens though throughout the game. So his fight value goes up, and then if you were to strike, it would go up from there. So that's pretty straightforward. There's no, with me or at the double like there was with a couple of the other heroics out there. Again, this is a specific fight value or a specific heroic. So models have to have this listed in their profile. So Heroic Strike is very useful. It's one of those ones where you can use it and actually combine it with a heroic combat if you have two heroes in a combat, and then slingshot your hero who has now raised his fight value into another enemy hero, and now they outfight that enemy hero because that fight value lasts for the duration of the turn. That being said, if your hero also includes a support weapon like a spear or a pike, I don't know of any heroes that can wield pikes, but I do know there are several heroes out there that can wield spears. Forlong the Fat has a war spear, which is a spear when you're on foot. What's her name? Not Hilda. Frida. Frida Tallspear of the Dunlending army has a spear. So if those models are to strike up, they can lend one attack and their fight value. So that's very useful. All right, and then the last heroic action for this series is the Heroic Combat. And this is a general, general heroic, which means all models can use it. So when a hero model declares heroic combat, the fight they are involved in is resolved first. Additionally, if all enemies in the fight are slain, the hero and any models from their force engaged in the same fight, not those joining with pike or spear supports, may move again before proceeding with the fight phase. This additional move may be a charge into enemy models if you wish, in which case the models will fight again in the ordinary sequence. A model may only benefit from one heroic combat in each turn. So if a model that was involved in a heroic combat moves into a combat where another friendly hero model has also called a heroic combat, They may not move again if that heroic combat is also successful. If any models involved in the heroic combat charge into new enemies, the way that the fights are divided may be altered. Once all heroic combats have been resolved, rematch any fights that must now change. The player with priority decides how combats are matched. So this is very useful for what I just said you could do with Heroic Strike, where you can do a strike in a combat. So say I have, for example, Théoden, King of Rohan, and Aylmer, Marshal of the Riddermark, third Marshal of the Riddermark. And I do a strike with Aylmer and a combat with Théoden. So they've both charged. They both got their charge bonus where they get, for Rohan, it's +1 to their strength. And then Aylmer has rolled and I get a 5. So I'm up to fight value 10. You know, let's say I rolled a 4. So he's fight value 9. Let's not max it out. So because Aylmer's base fight value of 5 goes up to 9. Now Théoden is calling heroic combat. So in that combat I have 7 dice. I roll, win, kill my enemy. I therefore can move both Théoden and Aylmer into new targets, like it says. So I take Aylmer and charge him into an enemy hero that is only, we'll say it's an elf. We'll play Glorfindel. He charges into Glorfindel, whose fight value is 7. Well, normally Glorfindel would have a 2-point advantage over Aylmer of fight 7 to Aylmer's base of 5. But since Aylmer has struck up, he maintains that fight value of 9 throughout the duration of the fight phase and now outfights Glorfindel. So that's a very good way to maybe get a few cheeky kills in there. You don't really see this so much with hero on heroes because most of the time once you have declared a heroic strike, if your opponent is smart and can kind of play that chess game, which is what this game is, a chess game, just much more advanced. I always describe it as chess on steroids. They will see that you're probably going to do that with a slingshot out of a heroic combat into an enemy. But I have used this myself many times to take down enemy monsters. Isengard Troll, which is fight 7, well, let me do a heroic combat / heroic strike. Oh, hey, now my striking hero is a higher fight value, and I will slingshot him into that troll and now win the fight against the troll and hopefully one turn kill it by trapping it. So I've done that a couple times against Mordor trolls as well. So those are the two last heroic actions during the fight phase. Heroic combat, which is general, so everybody can use it, and heroic strike, which is specific, so it must be listed in the hero's profile. That is all the heroics, guys. I'm not going to just read through them, but if you would like to see the other heroics, I'll go ahead and leave some card links in the upper right-hand corner for you to click to them. Thanks for following along with this series. I hope that it really helped you out if you're a new player or if you're a veteran player and you get some ideas listening to it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for my next series. I'm thinking along the lines of war gear, specifically looking and starting with cavalry, which is a big part of the game, and then moving on from there to one-handed weapons, hand-and-a-half weapons, two-handed weapons, banners, and all that. And each one of those will just be quick, simple videos where I can knock them out describing a couple things. And then at the very end, I'd love to do like a 30 to 45-minute practice of game using everything. And I've already spoken with my wife, and she said she would be willing to help me with that, which will be great because I think that's a great way to learn is to have somebody there other than myself playing the game. But yes, I'm looking to potentially do that as well so you guys can have a lot of great stuff and a lot of great content. If there is anything you would specifically like me to cover for MESBG, please leave it in the comments section below. That helps me with ideas and videos. Also, thank you to everyone who has subscribed. I just hit the 50 subscriber mark, and I'm contemplating doing a live stream this upcoming weekend or a weekend in the future to thank everyone and just, talk to subscribers and stuff and talk about the hobby in general. And as always, guys, please like, share, and subscribe so that I can beat those YouTube analytics and get my videos out there better. As always, everyone, thank you for participating. Enjoy Tolkien's Legendarium and everything in all phases. And I will see you next time in a Tolkien Fanatics video. Take care.